Welcome to selfdiscoverywisdom.com, formerly known as Self-Discovery Media. On these podcasts, you're going to hear people who speak from the heart. They've taken the journey in life. Many things have happened to them, but they've changed it to happening for them. And in their strength, their courage, they've discovered their abilities and their wisdom, and they are now sharing it here with you. Do enjoy each show. We bring it to you with love and knowing that it's going to help you on your journey of life. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Building Your Business right here on selfdiscoverywisdom.com. I am your host, Sarah Troy, and my wonderful guest is Randi Halaway. She's got a wonderful workshop coming up, which we're going to talk about, but we're going to be talking about how entrepreneurs can reclaim their inner strength and regulate their nervous system and lead with grounded confidence. And it's called the personal power way. And I think everybody, when you're a leader and an entrepreneur, you do want to know that everything is regulated and your nervous system can cope with everything. And that when you are leading with that confidence. That's what it's all about. She's a speaker, a coach, self-improvement, manifestation, and success. She is the personal power expert, and she is a creator of that personal power way, a transformational framework that helps leaders and entrepreneurs reclaim that inner strength, regulate their nervous system, and lead with that grounded confidence. As an entrepreneur since 2001, she has built and sold a thriving salon business before stepping fully into coaching and speaking. Her work goes beyond surface level empowerment. She equips the audience to move past fear, chaos, limiting beliefs, and step into clarity, freedom, and the infinite possibilities that are available to them when they lead from their personal power. And personal power is something that's really, really important, because we don't want you duplicating what everybody else is doing. This isn't one size fits all. It's not a numbers game, color in the squares. It's about, there is a system that works. How does it apply to you? And personalizes what it is that you do. I think people very often get mixed up with that. I'm just going to copy what you do. I'm going to apply it to me, but it doesn't really fit. And then it doesn't come across as authentic, does it, Randi? Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's so great to be here.
So that fitting of one size all, there's a lot of coaches out there that help entrepreneurs, but it's really about helping the entrepreneurs find their own essence, their own reason for doing something, their why, and whom do they want to help. It isn't about just slotting somebody else's system on. It's using that system to personalize their own power.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think that, sometimes based on where we're creating from, oftentimes if we're creating more from our ego, our mind, lack, outward validation, those types of things. And of course, we're looking at, okay, well, I want what that person has. I want that person to validate me. I want this much money, this kind of partner, this big of a ring, this big of a house, this waistline, this many likes on Instagram. And then I can finally feel powerful. I can finally feel good enough and loved and worthy and all of those things. And the idea here is that, what if you didn't have to do any of that? What if it already existed with inside of you? You already were loved and already safe and already worthy. You were already whole, and you had access to infinite possibilities through the power that's already inside of you. And that's where I have found, and with my own personal journey and all of the women I have supported, that that's where real magic happens.
Yes.
When you connect to that part of you, not only do you get to become more clear on what it is that you actually want versus what your dad, your mom, your partner, your sister, Instagram, whoever's on there says you want, but what you really want. And then you get to actually create it, receive it, and sustain it. And that's where the motivation comes from, because you're
Yes.
feeling from something that's really inside of you. And that's what fires us up. And that's what we're ultimately looking for, is that feeling. So good news is the feeling is already inside. It's just, are you willing to slow down enough to access it, to remember that it's there?
You're an igniter, right? Shows people where the switch is and how to switch on and what to pay attention to, because we're so saturated. Well, if you only do this and if you only do that, but it's impersonal. And when somebody shows you how to switch yourself on, Do you realize that you have this gift hiding in this bottom drawer here? Open it up, let yourself out. And for so many people, they don't see themselves as other people see them. And they wouldn't even know, but where's the switch? Where's the switch? I'm in the dark here.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a part of the human experience. I think,
Mm,
it's beautiful to recognize that we're all in this together, that we all have these um limitations, that we all have these fears, that we all have, things that we feel stuck or feel hard or challenging or whatever that is. And that's a part of being a human.
hmm
It's not about getting to a place in life where there's no challenge, there's no trigger, there's no frustration, there's no heartbreak. This is planet Earth, and it
hmm
comes with those things. It's about actually learning how to flow with that, accept that, learn how to respond to it versus react to it, which is what gets you more in flow, gets you more into your power. And now the inevitable challenge can come, the inevitable trigger, trauma,
mm,
uncomfort can come, and you're just like flowing, responding
mm.
to it, which is what I ultimately feel like brings you to the life of your dreams. It's not because everything's perfect, it's just because you're in flow more because
Yes.
it comes and you respond to it and wash it off and go back to like what it is that you're inspired by versus sitting in the chaos for so long, right? And
hmm
that's something that's like really been life changing for me.
People don't realize they're in chaos. Like their whole life is just this whirlwind. And all they're doing, using all their energy up, is just to manage it. And they don't realize you actually can step outside of chaos, right? And but how? It's spinning around. I don't know how. And it's like when you've got somebody, it's just basically let me take your hand and give you the tips of what to do that. It takes a moment for you to get your equilibrium because you're not spinning, right? That moment just to be still. And I think one of the greatest things you can give yourself is time and space just to be still. But
Mhm.
when you're in chaos, that time and space isn't anywhere to be found. But it's achievable. You just need that somebody who knows how to take you out of the chaos.
Yeah, and I think too, it's the awareness, right? So typically there's something or someone that comes in to help you realize, like, whoa, I'm in chaos. My whole chaotic and spinning around. Step one, you got to recognize it's happening.
Yes.
If you're not sure it's happening, just take a deep breath right now, check in with yourself and look at your outer results. They will
Mm,
never lie to you. Check in with your body. See if you're feeling anxious or tight or calm or relaxed. Your body will never lie to you. And that's how you can kind of check on what's going on.
mm,
So first step is recognizing that's happening. Second is um, recognizing that you have an addiction to it.
mm,
This addiction that we all have that we have to like when we look at it we can heal it. To your point, this, it can all be healed and can all be transformed and reprogrammed, but the first step is the awareness. Second
mm,
is like really being honest, like I have an addiction to it. And how I know I have an addiction to it is I keep saying that I want flow and grace and abundance and magic and the happiest life, but yet somehow I keep attracting lack, fear, chaos,
mm,
hard, challenge, challenge, challenge. Right. And so it's like, oh, I have to stand up and start to be personally responsible for my choices and my
yes.
energy, recognize that's happening. And then from there, yes, ideally you find a coach, a mentor, a program, a container to hold you, to help you, because this, there's a reason why it's called the work and it's not for
hmm
right. This is can be challenging. The mind can be really tricky, but the more that you put light on it, you can pull yourself out. What happens is, to your point, if you're willing to be still,
Yeah.
part of why we're not willing to be still is because if we were to sit in silence, we might actually feel something uncomfortable.
hmm
Start to
hmm
recognize that uncomfort is where we grow and the uncomfort is
Yes.
actually trying to hurt you, then you can slow down, start to breathe, start to have maybe a self-care practice in the morning where you journal, you meditate, do some visualization, you just get into your body. You regulate your system, you slow it all down. Slower is ultimately faster. And here's the thing, all the guidance, the direction, the answers you're looking for,
hmm
that's where they exist in those
Yes.
moments.
Yes.
It's just, are you willing to slow down enough to receive them?
hmm For them to be revealed because they're knocking at your door all the time. You're
Yep.
right.
Always.
I think we're conditioned. I just did another show with somebody who's been around for a long time, a professor, teach people how to write scripts, etc. And you're thinking, why do people go to movies, and why are we drawn to chaos? And it's because it's relatable to our own story. And if you have a story that's all about joy and happiness, we don't relate to it. That's why we don't go to it. Although subliminally we would like to have that, but we feel it's unachievable because all around us is this chaos. Well, you can be, the calm in the storm. You don't have to actually buy into all the chaos around us. I know we feel that we're particularly wired that way, and a lot of it is that flight and fight mentality that that's in our DNA. But we can choose to seek peace and clarity. And again, what you water, what you feed is what's going to grow. And so you have to find those practices that you can feed and water in order to change your own narrative.
Absolutely. And it comes down to free will and choice.
Mhm.
You at any moment have this choice to be a victim. I don't
Yeah.
have a choice. I'm stuck in the chaos. You don't understand. I didn't
Mm,
have money. I didn't have this. I didn't have that. Like I came from a traumatic childhood too. I get
mm,
it. I've had a lot of things
mhm.
throughout my life. So I understand those stories. But when you believe that, that is your reality.
Yes.
And what I'm here to say is that at any time, no
Mhm.
matter how old you are, it doesn't matter where you're at in your life or what's happened, you can pull out of that story because it is a story. You are not a victim and you
Mm.
can choose to become a victor.
Yeah.
And when you do that, the whole frequency changes. And now it's your choice. Like, oh, again, it's personal responsibility. If it's
Hmm.
everyone else's fault, you're probably going to keep looping around on this hamster
Mm.
wheel, going around and around and around to Nowheresville, right? But if you choose to get off the hamster wheel, and it is a choice,
Yes.
you can do it whenever you want. So when we're doing that, we're giving our power away.
Hmm.
The good news is it's your power and you can take it back whenever you want. Literally
Hmm.
in this moment, you can take a breath right now and be like, okay, I'm back. Now you might
Yeah.
have to do that a million more times to keep
Yes.
before it fully integrates, but that's the practice. That's why they call it
Yes.
the work. You pull off the hamster wheel, you take your power back, and then you start to choose. You know what? I'm going to start choosing things that are more calm, that are more regulated,
Hmm.
that are more joy, that are
Hmm.
easier, that are more in flow. Why do I want it to be so hard all the time?
Yes.
Let's choose this. And then you do that over time, a practice that's consistent, and you will start to see transformation and change in your life.
For most of my life, I've been the hare rushing for the finish line. I had the vision. I could see it. Let's do it. Let's build it. Let's all do it now. Excitement. Blah, 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 blah. And then just through circumstances of life, the running legs got kind of chopped off, and I became the tortoise. What
Mhm.
I've learned being the tortoise, I have met more beautiful people. I have heard more beautiful stories. I have learned so much about myself, and I've really discovered what's important because I slowed down and participated in my journey instead of rushing forward to a vision I had.
Yeah, I mean, that's really well said. It's like you said, all the guidance is there. It's always there for us.
Yeah.
When we're looking for it, it's when we're willing to slow down and actually be present, all the things so here's the thing, everything that you're looking for in your life
Mhm.
only exists in the present moment. The happiness, the joy, the magic, the abundance, like all of those things can only exist in the present moment. The past is over, the future is not here. All we
Mhm.
have is now. And when we're willing to slow down and actually take that in, you get to really, like they always say, stop and smell the roses, right? You actually get to smell the rose that's there for you as a gift. That person, maybe you haven't met that person yet or gotten
Yeah.
that opportunity yet, not because they haven't showed up, but maybe you haven't been able to see it or notice it yet because you're moving too fast. And that's something that I've had to work on in my life as well, too. Just like go, 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 get it, get it.
Mhm.
Yes, we can accomplish a lot doing that way. I've accomplished a lot in my career, but then I end up being burned out, then I end up being tired,
Yes.
I end up still being unfulfilled. I'm like, so what was it all for?
Yeah. Yeah.
The thing, and that's why going back to what you said, like, what's really your why? Like, what's
Mhm.
really inside of you? What's really important to you? And I think the point to bring it back around to what we're both trying to say is that the answer to that question is within you.
It always is.
It could take
Always is.
someone else to help pull it out, but you're the one that has to go in and access it. And it's actually really simple. It's just learning how to slow down, regulate, calm the system. Just give it some peace, give it some space, and I promise it'll come in, it'll drop. It always does when you're available to receive it.
And talking about meeting the right people. We don't want somebody to complete us or define us. If we find a partner, whether it's business or love interest or friends, we want people that complement each other. right? It is not about finding someone to love you for you to learn to love yourself. It's for you learning to love yourself. Then you will find somebody who will love you in your light,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. It's all a reflection. So whatever's going on inside right now is going to be a reflection of what's going on out.
Mm-hmm.
So again,
Mm.
quick check-in, look at your outward results. And if you're not happy with them, the fastest hack to change it is to go inside.
Yes.
Start making you the priority. Start loving,
Mm.
start showing up for you as if you are the most important person in your world.
Mm-hmm.
What starts to happen is you start to attract people who also have that mentality for themselves, which means they actually have the capacity to meet you in the way you love.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So the more you love yourself, the more you respect yourself, the more you are truly in your power. What happens is people can still come in that have weird dynamics or chaotic patterns. And what happens over time, and I'm sure you've experienced this, Sarah, is, it just ends up being a pass or oh,
Yeah.
interesting. I see what's happening here. I think I'm just going to pass and thank you so much. And
Mm-hmm.
actually, I'd rather be here in my space, even though there might be some uncomfort, there might be some alone. Um, but I'm going to be patient for that meets me and where I'm at and holding that of what I feel, I'm worthy of in that way.
Exactly.
And that's also a very life-changing piece.
Exactly. One thing I've learned is that you don't have to say no to an opportunity.
Oh,
But what you can say to that opportunity is, I'm willing to participate to this level. You don't have to drink the whole Kool-Aid. You don't have to be, if that person's highly energetic and always on the go, you don't have to match their energy, but you can still work together. You can still have synergy with each other. But
yeah,
this is my energy that I bring to the table. I'm not willing to go over there. And if that person doesn't see that, then they're the wrong people. But I've worked and collaborated with people where their energy is like the ever ready bunny. I haven't got that energy. Um, nor am I in that kind of enthusiasm. I'm more like the laid back and the calm. I will participate to this level and contribute, but I don't need to go further on. And that's okay. That's okay. A lot of people think, but this is this opportunity, but they want me to do X, Y, and Z. And I feel like it's kind of a pushback. No, you don't have to do X, Y, and Z. You can compromise. You can discuss. I'm willing to do this. Are you going to accept that? And if not, then it's not for me. And if yes, then we have a way of cohesively working together. But don't compromise yourself. That doesn't mean to say don't push yourself. Don't
yeah,
be unwilling to try something new. But, for me, it's the core. When my core says no, I don't argue. I don't even question. It said no. Because if I argue and I go above it, I guarantee you the old cosmic 2x4 is going to come along. I
yeah.
didn't listen to the core. The core never lies to you.
Yeah, I know that. I know that one well. Went out a few times. So again,
Boing, boing, boing.
one of the biggest ones was I ended up in a 4-month marriage, and that was a big smack in the face of like, oh, you sacrificed yourself, and this is
Yes.
happened. So, I really love what you said. It's not about anyone, whatever kind of relationship we're talking about here. It's not about
Mm,
anyone being perfect. It's about understanding who you are, understanding what your boundaries are, knowing that compromise is a part of any relationship, and then communicating.
yes.
Right. But then from there, so you can do an ask like, hey, yeah, you're right. I don't want to do it exactly this way. Can we do it this way? Or, hey,
Yeah.
this thing that's happening doesn't really feel good to me. Are you open to compromising on it? Are you
Mm,
meeting? Right.
hmm.
The idea here, though, is that there's a difference between this is like something that really shifted for me in a big way. There's a difference between compromise, which is necessary in any relationship, and self-sacrifice.
Yes.
When you start playing in self-sacrifice, you're most likely going down a path where what I call you're going to experience unnecessary pain. I think we all
Yeah.
have our pain and our trauma and our fears and our things that we're here to feel and heal and grow from. But where we start to cause unnecessary pain is we start to drag ourselves through the mud by doing things like self-sacrificing, doing the
Mm,
thing that's like like you said, the body is saying no, and you're like,
mm.
well, I don't want to lose this connection. I don't want to be alone. I'm probably not going to find anyone else, so I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
Not self-sacrifice, right? And so the idea here is what if you became so aware of who you are, so
Hmm.
connected to who you are, and you understood where that line is? Because it's a
Yeah.
line, you can dance on it, right? We're
Yes.
human. I still dance on it a little. I'm like, oh, I feel I'm like in that more, and I'm like, oh, nope, not doing that. So
Yep.
set another boundary or just communicate what it is. And I'm willing to just say, hey, this is the thing. And if it doesn't work,
Yes.
all good. That might cost
Yeah.
me, that might be disappointing, but I'm willing to feel that
Yes.
versus feeling what's on the other side of self.
Hmm. Yeah. Bending into a pretzel is very uncomfortable. I've done it most of my life. It was always like, if I'm this for them, right? If I can do this for them, I'll be approved of, I'll be loved, I'll be wanted.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and it's never enough anyway. It doesn't
No.
matter what you give them. They never appreciate it. They never see you. They just want more. Well, bend more into a pretzel, bend more into a pretzel. And then they resent you. You're not the woman that I connected with. No, you're not, because I've bent so much into a pretzel, I completely lost myself. I don't know where the beginning and the end is anymore. If it's a working relationship, whether it's a love relationship, child relationship, friend relationship, you must bring you, the essence and the totality of who you are as a being. And if it's accepted and loved or appreciated for who you are, wonderful, you found your tribe. If it isn't, I wish you well. Bye bye.
Yeah, absolutely. And it can be that simple, but again, in order for it to be simple, you have to be resolved with inside of yourself of understanding
Yes,
patterns, your
yes,
dynamics, your
yes.
fears, and
Mm-hmm.
that's part of the journey, you know. So again, it's taken me a lot of falling and a lot of
Mm-hmm.
uncomfortable, hard experiences to be like, oh yeah, like this is about me choosing me. This is about me coming back to me,
Mm-hmm.
knowing me, being willing to say the thing that's for me versus
Yes.
against me versus keeping my mouth shut just because I'm afraid of rocking the boat. I'm afraid of
Mm-hmm.
abandoned or rejected or being alone. It's like those are inevitable feelings anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Most likely, if I'm sacrificing myself, I'm probably most likely already feeling that way.
Right,
So
right.
might as well understand that the feelings are inevitable. But that's the thing about being a human is we're feelers,
Mm-hmm.
whether we like it or not. Part of, again,
Mm-hmm.
cause more unnecessary pain is we really resist and avoid this feeling thing. We just anything we can do to like push it down, get it away. Nope, I don't feel. That's why I go 100 miles an hour. That's why I have a to-do list. That's why I'm a hustler. That's why I do whatever I can to bend over backwards for anyone so there's no comfort, right? And
Yeah.
it's cool, all of that in the name of not feeling uncomfortable. Meanwhile, I'm so riddled up in anxiety. I'm so uncomfortable. I'm like feeling it anyway. So it's like, what if instead of that, you learned how to become a feeler, a
Yeah.
good feeler, an
Yeah.
effective feeler, a high level feeler? You learned how to become good at this as a skill set.
Yes.
In order to be free of any feeling, you have to learn how to feel it. And when you start
Yeah.
that, that's how you actually start to open up your heart more and open up your gifts and your power and all those things. And that's where you kind of know, like, oh, that's the line.
Hmm.
Okay, we're close to the line now, so I'm going to let you know. And if it still keeps crossing, I'm going to remove myself from the situation.
And that is okay. Absolute permission to do
Yeah,
so. Because if you don't look after you, nobody else is going
I
to look
always
after
said, like,
you.
if you don't look after you, who's
Yeah.
always coming?
Yeah.
Prince Charming is not coming through that door. And
No.
even if he does, it's not his job to save you. It's a
Exactly.
you and a you job.
Yeah.
Right. And here's the deal too. When you're courageous enough to do what it is that we're talking about right now, and I'm say courageous because I understand like
Yes.
it's uncomfortable, but when you're
Yes.
willing to do that, there's something so beautiful on the other side.
Mm.
There's a couple of things that I'll touch on. One is you create space for something new to come in, and that's
Hmm.
magic. If you're holding on to something from the past to stay safe, I'm air quoting, there's the new can't come in. But when you're willing to let it go and be courageous enough, then something new gets to come in. That's a beautiful reward. But the biggest reward is that you get to actually feel more peace and calm within inside yourself, whether the new thing comes in or not, or there's a pause or whatever is
Hmm.
going on. That's true freedom, is knowing that you're already whole and complete within. Not
Yes.
when you get everything else figured out outwardly. It's already here. Like the jig is up. You already have it within inside of you.
Yeah.
Imagine how looking at your life that way could shift and change not only your life, but the decisions you make.
Yeah.
Every decision you make is going to determine your results.
Hmm. Hmm. And we're not saying that you need to do it all by yourself.
Mm,
How we're saying is by honoring you as a priority,
yes.
as you looking at yourself even as your own client, right? As you looking at yourself as your own patient, you will know then whom it is you need to turn to that can empower you to heal yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Oftentimes throughout my journey, I'll say, okay, like I'm ready for a new healer. I'm ready for a new mentor.
Hmm.
I'm ready for a new guide. Show me, and I'll end up like at a dinner and they're sitting next to me.
Yes, exactly.
Whatever it is,
Yes.
'cause I've had mentors.
Universe will always deliver.
Yeah, it's like, are you ready? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you asking the right questions? Are you receptive? Because if you are, they'll show up. And then when they're there saying, hey, I'm here, are you willing to say yes?
Hmm.
And that might mean being uncomfortable and taking a risk, investing in yourself, whatever that is. But I always say, like, I'd be on like $1 million a year, monthly plan, for all of the growth that I've gotten. That would be worth it to me. Like, it's not
Yeah,
money, it's about the growth because that's the real freedom.
exactly. I've been doing this 13 and a half years, and I have met some of the most courageous, strong, adaptable, and gifted people.
Mm,
But they didn't start there. They
mm,
came from the darkest of hell.
mm.
And at some point, they've just said, I am not going to live here anymore.
Yeah.
And whatever they came out of, they found the skills, the tools, the wisdom to help them navigate through it. And now they've become the healers on the other side because they understand the process.
Mhm.
That's the greatest guide or teacher, healer for you is somebody who's gone through it themselves because they know how to recognize it in you. They know when you're sliding back or when you can be pushed forward. They know which tools work and which tools don't. They know when to be patient and when to push. And having somebody that's been there is it's a comfort because you feel not only do you understand, right? You know how far you can push. You know they've, oh, no, 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 too vulnerable right now. This is not the time to say, get on with it. This is the time just for some loving hug. And other times, no, no, you've been wallowing in that too much. But kick up the butt. Let's get going. But it has to come from somebody that isn't just what I call textbook teaching, but
Yeah.
people who have lived the experience.
Yeah.
Because you can have textbooks that say this, that, etc., but there is nothing to replace the experience.
100%. Yeah. That's been like kind of my life's work as I go fall, swim around and whatever the experience is, I grow, evolve from it, and then I go teach it
Yes.
as a way to relate to what
Hmm.
the person is going through. So I completely agree with that.
And it becomes more invitational for people because it's like they get me, or I'm still in chaos. I can feel this buzzing around me, but just something about what they're saying makes me believe I can come out of chaos. I always say
Yeah.
inspiration begets invitation. So when somebody's inspired by your story, what you've said, the things that you're doing and the why you're doing it, it becomes that little door opener in the chaos that allows them to kind of, oh, there's a door opening here. I can actually come out here. But there is this thing called free will. Everybody can be out there willing to help you. The sunny side of the street, I call it. You're in the darkness. You can see the sunny street. You can see all the people lined up ready to help you. But you've got to get onto the street. Now, and there's some people, they're ready. I'm onto the street. I'm going to walk it and I'm ready to receive. Others come out, it's too blinding for me. Fine. Walk on this side of the street in the shade. And as you accumulate, climatize to the light, you will then be able to step on the road. And then the right people to help you along the way. But nobody can go in and pull you out. Free will, you have to choose to want to. That
Yeah.
sun other side of the street is waiting for you, but you've got to choose to walk it.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's a choice in every moment. And sometimes we're just not ready. We got to go through another round of whatever our lesson is, whatever's rolling around in the darkness, whatever the victim cycle is.
Mm-hmm.
And typically what I've found is there's something that happens for most people, whether it's a big life event or maybe they just get inspired by someone they see and they're like, why
Mm-hmm.
can't I have that?
Yeah.
They find out, oh, I can. Um, I've been through, like I said, a lot in my journey, and one of my intentions is to help people understand that it doesn't have to be as hard as
No.
your mind or your ego or your patterning makes it. Like I went through a lot of hard things and persevered through a lot of hard things, continuing to choose myself,
Mm-hmm.
choose. And I definitely took a little bit of a harder path in the first part of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the message I want to share is that it doesn't have to be that hard. If you're
No.
right now and you're listening to this conversation, like this is what I would call a feather. This is the
Mm-hmm.
feather that's saying, hey, there's another way. You have an opportunity. There's a light that's shining. Like you said, it's shining on you. All
Mm-hmm.
you have to do is take one step. towards it, right? Past the feather is usually what I call a Mack truck. It's a bigger opportunity, I'll call it, because it's all good. It's ultimately all working out, but this is where we're probably causing ourselves more of that unnecessary
Mm,
pain. A bigger thing is happening, and the next is what I call a brick wall, and that's when things get real challenging, where you're kind of like what they say, like, you're at rock bottom.
mm,
That was me after my second divorce. I was 37 years old. I'd been married twice. The marriage was 4 months. I was literally on the kitchen floor. I could barely peel myself off of it. It was really that's the most challenging thing I've ever been through. But it was an opportunity to start
mhm.
to take my power back. And I knew then at that point, like, gosh, I've got a lot of content here to go full victim mode.
Yes.
I was like, I don't think that's the point. I think the whole point of this even happening is to let go of that mentality and
Mhm,
start to walk towards the light, start to walk towards the victor, to be
mhm.
personally responsible, to take whatever the person was at that point. It was my ex-husband, so whatever, whoever it is for you, and put them to the side and start looking in the mirror. Why did I choose this? Why did
Mhm,
I walk down the aisle? Why did
mhm.
I stay? We all saw the signs. They were all
Yes.
there, like,
Neon sign shouting at
let's be
you.
honest. The feathers were there, the signs, the flags of everyone at home were there. So why did I choose it? And the more I
Mm,
started asking myself that question and being honest, I was like, oh, okay. So I was afraid of being alone. I was afraid of being abandoned. I was afraid of these different things. I was letting fear run the show.
mhm,
But my discernment and free will came in, and I was like, all right, that's over. We're going to start to do this differently. And that was 8 years ago. That's like that, and there was a lot of growth that happened even before
mm.
that. I've been doing this for like 25 years, like very, very committed to it. But it was, we have these levels and these layers and these,
Yes.
next opportunities. And so that was a big changing point for me. And it still took time. And I would say now I'm at the point where I can catch when fear shows up in my body
Yeah.
really fast because I know it really well. Because I spend a lot of time with myself. I spend a lot of time inward checking in. I'm like, ooh, what's going on? I immediately know. I usually get some sort of anxiety
Yes.
in my solar plexus. You might get it
Yes.
in your throat or your heart or your back or whatever it is. Get to know yourself.
Mhm.
It's going to be your greatest tool. And the second I'm like, ooh, that's going on, I typically try to just stop what I'm doing. So I'm like, I don't want to make a decision if I'm triggered or if this is
Yes.
fear-based or protection-based. Like you said earlier, like I know where those decisions lead if I'm not trusting myself. If I'm coming from fear and I'm not trusting myself, they typically end in a harder lesson.
Mm,
Slow this thing down. Look at what I'm afraid of. Look at what the trigger is. Look at what like the challenge is and work through it, get back in my power, and then go back to making the decision. Then go back to creating more from inspiration versus force or fear.
yes.
That's the life-changing piece because the thing is, you're creating in every single moment, every single
Mhm,
moment, whether you realize it or not. It's happening literally right now, even when you're sleeping. And you're either creating from fear, lack, ego,
mhm.
victim, or love, truth, abundance, magic,
Yeah.
one or the other, giving your power away in your power, right? And the reality is it's very simple. Wherever you're creating from is going to determine your results.
Mhm.
So if you don't like your results, once again, just start to shift your creation point
Yes.
and your results will shift. It's actually very simple. From the divine's perspective, this is all very simple. It's the mind and the chaos and the fear that makes it challenging.
Mm. Soul wisdom, we say the knowingness is trusting the soul wisdom, God, universe, source, spirit, energy, whatever you wish to call it. That wisdom resonates with truth in your heart. Your spirit then gets into action and it extracts from the mind what it needs to know in clarity when it needs to know it. And that's called that knowingness. And it's so peaceful. It is so like a deep breath. I just know what I need to know in this moment, and that's all I need to know. No highfalutedness, no, but why? No, I just need to know this right now. That's all that's important. And the other beautiful thing is getting to that space where you don't need company because you are your greatest companion. Now, it
Mhm.
doesn't mean to say that you don't enjoy being around company, but you're not looking for company to fulfill you because you can fulfill yourself all by
Yeah,
yourself.
that's real freedom.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Being at home with oneself instead of running from ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's letting go of what I call societal expectation. Oh,
Mm.
you've got to be this. So you've got to be by this age, you've got to be that. You've got to be doing this. You can only be this, but that, and that's all society's dictation. Well, take a step back and look at society. It is so chaotic and screwed up because everybody's chasing that same carrot,
Yeah.
right? Only to find out it's really moldy.
Yeah.
and gives them a stomach ache,
Yep.
right? So it's really where the real truth and the real presence and the real gift and the real essence of who you are is from that inside out. And that's where you really find the real peace and that
Yep.
self-love.
Yep.
And every time you do take a path and that trigger comes up, that doesn't mean, oh, it's come back to haunt me. No, sometimes it's just to say, hey, remember this feeling? Remember you used to feel like this all the time? Look how far you've come.
Mm-hmm.
You don't feel that anymore. And then it becomes those milestones of like, oh, I've been living in this self peace and love now for a while. I really love it. No, I don't want any of those triggers to come back at all. I'm going to stay on this path because it's working for me.
Yep. That's it, which goes back to the free will, right?
Yes. Yeah.
What what are you what are you committed to? Again, your
Mm-hmm.
results are never going to lie. So
Mm-hmm.
frustrated that you're not, manifesting your intentions or goals, like look at your come from, look at the
Yeah.
choice you're making. Start there. Go inward. Learn how to show up for you, to validate you, to love you, to honor you. That's your real freedom. And then again, yes, it's as humans, it's natural to want connection, to want partnership, to want family, to all those things. But where's the come from? If it's
Yes.
I need. This is how we attract those really challenging relationships that can't give us what we need.
Mm-hmm.
We're not giving us what we need.
Aha.
Start giving yourself what you need. And then when the time is right, you start to attract more people who are able to give you what you need.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually really simple. Um, and again, you're more free on the journey to your point, doing, being able to show up for you. And
Yeah.
also I think that helps us create more space to be more open and magnetic to
Yeah.
magic and the infinite possibilities that are available for us.
Yes. And find that vibe tribe where you resonate on the same frequency. And then you know they've done the work, you've done the work, and you truly are beautiful souls coming together. And now the illumination, the creativity, and the possibilities are just transcending because you're not there to prove anything, you're there to contribute
Yeah.
and cohesively working together in that creation. And it's not about competing, no competing, no comparing. It's just about collaboration, cohesively, compassionately embracing each other. And then you truly see how much that resonates out as opposed to, there is no high or low. It's all about around, hands around the world, hands around each other, resonating it out as a pulse. And when we're true to ourselves and we find those people we can be truly ourselves with, oh boy, then it's just like the universe is the limit. It's just really transcending. And we
That's
want to be there, right? Because it's a great feeling. Come on in, these waters are great. But you've got to be willing to do the work.
absolutely.
This isn't a downloadable app or a quick program that you took. That was the invitation. That was the invitation to participate. But you have to participate. Now, you have workshops where you have all of this going on, where people can participate into the workshop of listening, learning, and that they need to apply. You're not just doing it, to sound off, you're doing it for them to be inspired enough to learn and apply. So I know you've got one coming up, and I know you often do them. So tell us a little bit about your workshops.
Yeah. So I have a workshop coming up on October 20th called The Illuminated You. And I host workshops probably every 2 to 3 months. So you can always go onto my website to find when the next one is. But this one, what I'm going to do is take you through a process of like really understanding your limitations. So you have to kind of like be aware of it in order to be able
Mhm,
to transform it or change
mhm,
it, right? So looking at where the limitations are through your mind and like learning how to bring it back to truth and power is the first piece. And then we have an exercise we go through where I help you connect more to your heart and your intuition to gain clarity on what it is that you actually want in your life.
mm,
It's like, again, what all of this other noise is telling you what you want. And then you get the thing you want and you're like, that's not even what I wanted.
yeah.
And then help you set really soul led, powerful, intentional intentions. And then I talk about how to set yourself up for success, how to learn how to make yourself a priority, how to practice self care, how to regulate your nervous system. Again, you can have all these high level goals, but
Mhm.
don't regulate your system to love and abundance and the things you want. And it's more fear based, lack based.
Yes.
You get more of that. So it's a really beautiful experience. It's completely free, it's virtual, it's about 90 minutes. And we just have some fun together. And so I would love for anyone who's interested, again, to come to that one. And again, if you know, it's already, that date is already passed, I typically almost always have one every couple months. So you can check
Mhm.
out my website or my Instagram to see when the next one is. And then I also have a container. It's a monthly membership called the Heart Centered Collective, where I go deeper with everything that I just said, like helping you
Mhm.
regulate, helping you to make yourself a priority, helping you just to be really committed to you, and like being more on that sunny side of the street versus that dark
Mhm.
state. And like that's what actually transforms your life, being more in your power and your heart and creating from that place. You get more powerful heart centered results. So that's a container too that women can come, and we do a call on community. We have lots of resources and just a lot of beautiful ways to help you be accountable to stay on this path. Because the more we're on this path, the more transformation, freedom we're going to experience.
You hit on something. You hit on a nerve.
Mm-hmm.
People don't understand is that we're living in our nervous center all the time. And the more chaos and the more upset and the more fear is just fraying on our nerves all the time. And we can't think clearly, we can't do anything clearly. What we want is our nervous system to support us, to help us, to be in rhythm and rhyme with us. Right. And we will know if like now my nerves are saying no, well, that's just kind of your nerves saying you're overdoing it or not this way or take some time or try a different way. But if our nerves are so fried and frayed, we're not getting the message of what they're trying to tell us. So I think it's so actually important that we calm that nervous system down where it is cohesively working through the mind, the body, the soul, the spirit, and that you're able to rhythm and rhyme it into a way of being able to actually use it and hear it and feel it without it being at a screaming pitch all the time where you can't hear or feel anything. So that nerve thing, you know, you may think, well, not the nerves are running through my body. Yes. And when they're in distress, they are screaming at you. And it's really hard to think of anything when they're screaming at you. So bringing that nervous system down more into a flow is so utterly important, isn't it?
Yeah, I often say there's nothing more important than this work. I know anyone can come to me like, Randy, you don't understand. I've got this list. I've got kids. I've got a husband.
Yeah.
You've got this, and I get it. I do. But truly, truly, there's nothing more important than learning how to manage your limitations, get into your power, regulate your system, make yourself a priority, because that's where it all starts from.
Yes.
Or the wife, a husband, a friend, a daughter, a teacher, a leader, a
Hmm.
employee, a entrepreneur. It doesn't matter. It all starts here. So again, if you want the hack to make
Mm.
all of your relationships better, to making everything in your life better, you start inside first and you
Yeah.
make this the priority. Your nervous system's going to run the show anyway.
Yeah.
So might as well learn how to regulate it to what you want. And that's
Yes.
where again, everything just gets to be more fun. It gets to be more
And you get to be more fun to be around,
100%.
right? And because, yeah, I know that, like attracts like, and there are certain people that are addicted to chaos or addicted to victimization. You don't want to be around those people. I think it's very, very important when you're on your self-healing is to choose your company. And you may have to close the door on people forever, or you may have to just say, catch you later. I need to invest in me right now, and I need to have the people around me that feed and support me, not ones that you jump into the fire pit with me. Right. So it's okay. And I think this is a lot of time where people say, yeah, but my family, or they're this, my friends. And it's like, it's okay to say, I'm taking time out from everyone. Wish me well on my journey. I'll catch you later.
Absolutely.
I think
Beautiful.
that's a hard one for people because it's giving themselves permission to put themselves first. And I think that's kind of probably the first obstacle, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, our society kind of says that's selfish, and we've got that going on. I think it's the opposite. I always like to use the airplane analogy. It's
Hmm.
you don't put your mask on first, then you're not gonna be able to help anyone else anyway, right?
Right.
But the other thing is there's a fear of like I choose me and I say no to you, then like when I come back, are you gonna be here or are you gonna be gone?
Yes.
And the reality is like you're not missing out on any of the connections or experiences or opportunities you're meant to have. You can trust
Hmm.
them. Now you're free.
That is the point.
Mhm.
Freedom, freedom of choice, freedom of thought, freedom to feel, freedom to understand what the message is, freedom to pursue, right? Without the fear of what are people going to say? What is the judgment? Can I do it? Can't I do it? Somebody said I couldn't do it. All of the freedom from all of that, which I
Right.
think is really, really important.
Yeah.
Now, I know that you have got freebies here, these programs that are resources that you give away. Would you tell people a little bit about those, please?
I have a few. There's a journal, my three top journal prompts, just to kind of start that process. I journal every single morning. That's what like one of the things that like really started changing my life because it was an opportunity to really slow down every day and choose me, connect with me, ask myself, how are you doing? How do you feel? You know, you wouldn't go a month without washing your dishes, without your clothes, without cleaning your body, but like how long do you go without cleaning your emotional body?
Yes.
It does. There's a meditation resource as well. It's actually a 3-minute meditation. So like everybody has 3 minutes to be clear.
Mhm.
You
Even if you're sitting on the loo.
yeah, we're gonna do that. Water in the bathroom, whatever you have to do, make it happen. But that's what's
Yeah.
gonna help the system. If you want to be regulated, you gotta do things that regulate it. It does.
Mm.
And I actually have a dating resource. I had a
Mm.
program, and it's really goes into like the truth about red flags. So it's actually a really fun one to check out if you're dating or single.
Very important one for anyone that's single, no matter what the age is. Right. And then you have another one, the Heart-Centered Collective Membership.
That's what I touched on. That is my membership where, anyone can come into this at any time. And, you just get welcomed with love.
mm,
You get to show up as you. You get to be in a container with other women who are also going through similar things or something really powerful. We get on the calls and everyone gets to share.
yes.
You know, like, wow, I'm not alone in this. Like, I'm not the only one who has insecurities. I'm not the only one who has fears. And we get to work through that together. I teach on topics every month. You get an email every morning with a journal prompt, an affirmation, inspiration, helping you stay committed,
Mm,
helping you stay consistent. There's resources in there. The thing is consistency is what wins the game. This doesn't have to be perfect.
yeah.
It's like, I don't have an hour. I don't have this. It's like, then do 5 minutes.
hmm
You have 5 minutes.
hmm
Start doing something and do it consistently because that is what is going to change the game.
Yes. Yeah. Changing the programming, introducing into your system as something that works. And then the more that it works, the more you'll find time to do it.
Really.
Right. Yeah.
If anyone has any questions about any of that, feel free to reach out. But that's like a really beautiful place to start. And then I also offer one-on-one. If anyone wants to go deep,
Mm.
you can reach out to me about that as well.
The thing is, as I said, we want to be at home with ourselves and want to know we can be alone with ourselves quite happily. But that's when you recognize who you want to be with.
Mhm.
And there's something beautiful about camaraderie, where when, especially women, sisters support sisters,
Mhm.
right? I have another genre, here kind of the sisterhood of common sense love and all those that love and support them. And that common sense love is that I see you, I feel you, I'm here to support you, just ask. Or can I make a suggestion? You're not going, well, are you going to criticize me? No, it's coming from a loving support. And to find a clang of camaraderie like that, of that kind of support, and it's so heart and soul warming. And it's just, it's a feeling that's really kind of quite undescribable. And you get that when you meet people that are going through the same thing, that are in the same discovery. You meet people that I'm going through that. Let's support each other. Let's just get there and support each other. And that builds your tribe, right? Doesn't it?
I agree. Yeah. And so, kind of just to circle back to like a lot of what we covered, this idea of like, we're on this journey to learn how to be with ourselves, right?
Yes.
Show up for ourselves, to love ourselves, to be calm in our system, to not need all these things outwardly, to feel at peace with it, to have that really strong relationship. Like this is the only relationship that will never be taken away. The relationship with yourself.
You're
Ever.
with from birth to death. You're with you. No escape.
The most important relationship you ever
Yeah.
have. I would say.
Yes.
Right? But on the flip, we're not meant to do this alone. We're not meant to be alone.
No.
We're meant to be in community. We're meant to be loved. We're meant to be supported. We're meant to have that. And so it's finding the balance in that, right?
hmm
And where your come from is on why you might just be alone all the time. Maybe you're protecting, or why you need people all the time. Maybe there's also protection. There's a fear there. What if you could balance both?
hmm
know that you're safe on your own, safe within, which means you also get to be more aware and intentional about what you say yes to. Because if I already know I'm whole and safe, like I don't need to sacrifice myself again, like we talked about. So my
Yes.
relationships just get to be higher level because I don't need you to be,
Yeah.
I want you.
Hmm.
And that's when everything
Changes.
starts to change and
Yeah,
shift.
not the need, but the desire. I choose you to be in my life rather than I need you in my life, because that need is suggesting something else altogether. But
Yeah,
I choose to is actually quite an honor to the person that you choose to, because they're recognizing that you're quite happy on your own. If you choose to, then you know that you're going to honor each other. There's a silent code there, isn't there?
absolutely. It's a beautiful thing.
Mm. Bottom line is, bottom line is, we have to learn to love ourselves in all our flawsomeness. We
Mhm.
learn how to put our shattered lives back together with love. We have to learn to trust love, to trust the heart, trust the soul, trust the wisdom, to come from that space. Be the love we seek, be the peace we seek, be the reason we seek. That is an inside out job. Now, you're going to learn something about yourself at this stage, and then life is going to take you down that path, and you're going to learn something else. And then the cha 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 and the two step and the everything else. The thing is, whatever gets thrown at you, the more and more you travel down this journey, the more and more you can deal with it. The more and more you can stay calm in the eye of that storm. The more and more you can face it and know, I know where to look for shelter instead of getting caught up in it, right? Or walk away from it. It's you get to know who you are, why you are, and what you're capable of, and your decision making becomes so much sounder, right? So no matter what you face in life, because you're going to face things, this isn't not facing whatever happens. It just means you're going to be able to face it more just level-headed, heart-leveled, and not get spiraled out, which is so important.
So,
And we need you to step into your essence. We need you to step into your light, because
mhm.
doing that, you are raising your frequency to that of love, self-love, loving others. And that frequency, believe it or not, is what the world needs. And so you become part of the healing for the world in your resonance. So you're doing it for you, but by doing it for you, you're doing it for everyone else.
Yeah, beautifully said. I completely agree. I think, when you commit to becoming a high level navigator, and what I mean by that is that challenge is coming, like we talked about, and you learn how to respond versus react. Now you're flying.
Yes.
It's like, okay, what's up? What do you need? Let's go.
Yeah.
Right. And then from there, that just opens everything up. You become more connected to your power, more connected to your heart. The more love that you have for yourself, the more you are in your heart, the more love you are going to emanate outwardly. This is what's going to heal the planet.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean you take it on as your mission to save the planet in every way and do those things. I mean, you follow your heart, you follow what you feel like your mission is, but part of the mission for all of us is just to be more in love. And that would actually
Yes.
transform everything. It can be.
Yes. Love makes the world go round, not money. Love. All we need is love. That's why there's so many songs on love, because we need it. Pay attention. Be it. Don't chase it. Become it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I,
That's what it is.
I always say, love always wins if you
Mhm.
let it.
And you're never alone when you're in a space of love. Yes, you may like a companion to share it with. That's a totally different thing. You don't need that person. It's just a desire to have that person. But you're at home with yourself. And it's when you know when you're there is when you can be at home with yourself. And we can all get there, right? We can all get there if we're
We
willing to listen, learn, and apply. And they can join your workshop on October 20th and have a taste of that. They can also download your free program resources and start there. They can join your collective membership. You've got the $1 offer for the first month, which is wonderful. And they can go to programs.randi, which is R-A-N-D-I, Halaway, halaway.com/join.hccm. But they can also go to your site and find all of this, which is randihalaway.com. And do also have a podcast and do interviews. You also have Randa's speaker site. So tell us a little bit about your podcast, love, as well.
I actually don't have my own yet. It's in process, but I've been on a lot of shows. So we have a podcast page on the
All
website.
right. Okay, so these are all the other podcasts that you've been on. And
Lots.
yes, you've listened to this one. Go and listen to others, because what we've shared is what we've shared. She may have shared something differently with someone else that's going to resonate with you in a different light, right? There is no one size that fits all, folks. We're speaking on this frequency. Maybe there's another frequency you prefer to hear it on. So be exploratory. Make that discovery for self. And that means willing to listen, learn, and apply. So randihalaway.com. She's also on Instagram, Randi Halaway, Facebook, Randi Halaway 7, LinkedIn, Randi Halaway, TikTok, Randi Halaway. And you will find her everywhere. But, you know, she's here to help. She knows, she's been there. She understands those turbulent waters. She's now in nice, smooth waters and wants to help you get there as well. Because I promise you, when you've put in the work and you really become at home with yourself, there's nothing like it, Randi, right? It's like, why did I do this sooner? Why did it take me so long to get here? But knowing you're here now and the impact that you are to yourself, you know you're a better impact to everyone else.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So everyone, whether you're in the business of self or you're in business, you haven't got anything to offer until you offer from your heart and your soul and your spirit. You're not just, don't focus on skills and what you're able to do. People want to know, who are you? It's who you are being that they want to do business with. Who you are being is who they want to associate with. So make sure who you are being is honestly you. So until next time, bye for now. We hope that you enjoyed the show. There are so many more for you here on selfdiscoverywisdom.com. Just go to the podcast tag at the top there and you will see all the many genres and all 3,000 shows ready for your listening. We are here to serve you, to help you on your journey of life, and we know that through inspiration it begets invitation. We are supported by you, the listeners, and those that we interview. Anything that you can spare us in donation would be greatly accepted, and we do hope that you enjoy the next show.